Thank you for taking time out with PSOA. This is Sean Johnston from Omaha, Nebraska, starting our training videos for basketball. Today this training video is going to concentrate on two of the common fouls: block, charge. Probably the two hardest fouls to decipher, but then after this training video, it's much easier to process throughout the game. We're going to start all of these training videos with the goals of these training videos, whether it's fouls, violations, mechanics, positioning, signals. We want to simplify, we want to educate, we want to build a consistent communication, model with video what to do, and then we're going to share drills, what officials can do to get better at each training video topic. So today, block, charge. Challenge of foul calling. Our first three training videos will all be on common fouls. Is we have to find that balance, that art and science of the crowds are going to yell, you took the game away from the kids because you didn't let them play. We called so many fouls. And if we don't call as many fouls the next game, now players got rough, potential injuries, and people are yelling at us, we let the game get out of control as officials. All right, so these training videos are going to really encompass that idea of balancing art and science, and what is too many fouls, what's not enough fouls. So we're always in the middle, so we don't get those comments. So the two signals that we're going to focus on today, when we have charge, signal number 36, you're going to put your hand behind your head. So this is signal 36 for charge, and then the block, signal number 34. All right, so a mechanics change in last season was whenever we have an offensive foul, team control, player control foul, all right, we are always using signal 36. So yeah, today it means charge. Future training videos, we're going to use that same signal because it's a offensive team and player control foul. We're block, we're going to put our hands on our hip like number 34 here, signal 34. We're not popping it. We'll actually use some video of officials popping it. Boom, just place your hands on your hip, block. Enough to let everybody know what you have, but not too much where you're showing a player up or you're overselling it. Probably the two most important rules when it comes to foul for basketball is Rule 427, incidental contact. So coaches will always ask, why was that not a foul? How was that not a foul? Incidental contact, coach. All right, and it's a two-word response. And then if it's a dead ball and the coach is asking, why do you keep on saying incidental contact? Because, coach, I saw the contact between opponents. But after that contact, both opponents were in an equally favorable position. All right. So the contact that does not hinder an opponent from making a normal movement is incidental. We're not going to have incidental contact plays today. We're going to have collision plays today, block charges. But I'm going to keep on reminding officials. When coaches want a foul, you don't have a foul, revert back to Rule 427, incidental contact. In other training tapes, we will have severe contact that both players did not do anything illegal, and there's not a foul because after that contact, it didn't affect the play in both teams, and both players are not at a unfavorable position. So as we start working games this week, remember, incidental contact. Basketball is full of contact, and if both opponents are in a favorable position afterwards, coach, it wasn't a foul because of incidental contact. When we do have a foul, so we see a contact and that contact hinders normal movements. So now coach will be like, how was that a foul? Coach, it hindered that player from shooting. It hindered that player from continuing to play defense. it hindered that player from getting the ball from out of bounds to inbound it. If you have contact of one of the 7 common fouls that hinders normal movements, you're going to have to call a foul. So today, most of the movement, normal basketball movements that it's going to hinder is going to be shooting and layup. All right, so that's what we're going to focus on today with block charge. When we start teaching block charge, we go to legal guarding position. So definition, chapter number 4, when it comes to legal guarding position for the defense, there is no minimum distance required between the opponent with the ball and the defender who is gaining legal guarding position. The court is recommended 84 feet long. Once that ball is inbounded, if I have 2 feet on the floor and I'm facing my opponent that has the ball, I have legal guarding position. Now, the maximum distance for closely guarded, which is a 5-second violation, is 6 feet. Another training tape with violation. That doesn't regard to block charge today. Then there's no maximum distance to attain legal guarding position. The only requirement is you must be in bounds. What we are going to see today is once the defender gets legal guarding position, 2 feet on the floor, facing the opponent, they do not have to stay set to take a charge. They can jump. They don't even have to continue to face the opponent. They could slide obliquely to remain in front. They could turn obliquely as well. They could duck and absorb contact. We have a play out like this. And as we recommend, raise the hands vertical straight up. So after attaining legal guarding position, you're going to see defenders in these videos, they're moving. And there's going to be some of them that, yes, that is a charge while they are moving because they gained legal guarding position and they are allowed to move after that. What they're not allowed to do is not having legal guarding position and then slide underneath a shooter or make contact with an opponent that has the ball when they never had legal guarding position. So when we get to the drills at the end of the training tape, well, we break it down of the step processes. You're going to have to check mark within a 0.5 second frame of did the player have legal guarding position, who initiated contact, where was the contact. All right, so now block. All right, so this is our signal 34, hands on the hip, illegal personal contact in which impedes the progress of an opponent with or without the ball. So some examples. Defense moving forward into a ball handler. That could be a dribbler. That could be somebody holding onto the ball. That could be a shooter. A defender, even with legal guarding position, cannot move forward into an opponent that has control of the ball. Moving while screening, which is going to be another training tape, that is illegal. It is using the body to inhibit the opponent of normal basketball movement of defending a ball handler. Sliding into an airborne shooter, which we'll see today, is illegal personal contact. And then not having legal guarding position, then contacting the ball handler. So as we transition in the charge here, it's all about did the defender get legal guarding position. So definition 472. Illegal personal contact caused into an opponent's torso. All right, so not only did they make contact with the torso, again, it has to impede normal basketball movement. They weren't allowed to block a shot. They weren't allowed to continue defending that player. So you're going to have to be able to, legal guarding position, hit in the torso, but what normal basketball movement was hindered? And if it didn't hinder anything, incidental contact, keep on playing basketball. All right, so if defender is legal and the player with the ball stops or changes direction to avoid contact, we have to judge, did that contact happen in the torso? To avoid a charge for the offensive player, they need to get, or should get, head and shoulder past the torso of the defender. All right, so you might have officials blow their whistle, give the signal, hands on hips, and say block, head and shoulders past the defender. So that's telling the coach and player they didn't hit the defender in the torso. Another caveat to this charge rule. We just said head and shoulder past the torso of the defender. Exception. If there's less than 3 feet between the defender and the boundary line, the dribbler has greater responsibility of the contact. We're not saying that the dribbler has to be called for a foul, but we can't automatically call a block when that defender is legal and they're within 3 feet of the boundary line. And the reason for that is if they leave the court, by rule, that's a technical foul. So we have to allow the defense 3 feet to remain on the court. And when that's the case, the offensive player is now responsible in that contact. So if it doesn't impede the defender making a normal basketball movement and that ball goes out of bounds or that dribbler loses balance, can't call a foul for block. You're not going to call a charge because it's not in the torso. Play on or call the out of bounds. And then at the last one, the player with the ball shall not push the torso of the defender to gain an advantage to pass, shoot, or dribble. So if they push the torso, but they don't pass, shoot, or dribble, again, that defender is still able to guard, comes up, dead, no foul. If they push, they create separation, they're able to get a pass off, shoot the ball and dribble, now you have a charge. All right, so some tips, some drills. Number 1, always officiate the defense. You have to get legal guarding position to take a charge. Majority of the time, it is going to be the defender that fouls or the defender that gets fouled, so that defender is going to have all the information for you. Positioning is key. See through 2 players involved in the contact. Anticipate the type of play, not the call. Somebody's coming to the basket. You're anticipating a block, charge play. Don't anticipate charge or block. Anticipate the type of play you're going to have to judge. Does the defense have legal guarding position? 2 feet on the ground, facing the opponent. Who initiates the contact? Defender moving forward, block. Offense moving into a legal defender. Offense initiates the contact. And the last but not least is where is the contact? Torso, charge. Head and shoulders past the defender's torso, block. Or both players are in equally favorable position after that contact, we have incidental contact and nothing. All right, so we're going to go to some plays here. So block, charge plays. Not all of these calls are correct, but we're going to walk through them and talk about, again, all the processing, positioning, timing, angles, and signals. All right, so we have number 25, defender, white, 2 feet on the ground, facing the opponent. He has attained legal guarding position. One of the things on blocks, you cannot move forward. There you have his 2 arms moving forward into the shooter, and the shooter is actually now propelled backwards. All right, this would have been correctly called a block. So why did the official potentially miss this? Positioning. We talk about seeing through 2 players. Right now he's even with the defender. We would like this official to come out wider. So if the ball's coming down your side of the court, new lead officials, stay wide. The wider you are when the ball's on the side of your court, the better you're going to be to see through this defender. From his angle, he does not see the arms move forward. All he sees is red coming forward through the defender who has legal guarding position. And then the last thing is he is anticipating the foul because he's already going the other way. When you have a foul, you want to raise your hand and hold your spot. Raise your hand with a closed fist, hold your spot, process. Was the defender legal? Who initiated the contact? Where was that contact? Boom, block. All right, slow down when you have these types of plays. So correctly, this would have been a block using the body to impede a normal basketball movement of the shot. Play number 2. Okay, official calls it a block. Pause. 2 feet on the ground. Defender is facing the ball handler. He has attained legal guarding position. He moves to a spot on the court where the offense initiates the contact into the defender's torso, as the head and shoulders did not get by that defender. So this should have been a charge. Legal guarding position, defender is not moving forward, offense is moving forward into the defender's torso. This should have been a charge, and yes, you can have charges while you are moving. So now, again, why did this official potentially get this wrong? Positioning. All right, we're on the basketball court. Again, you want to get to the baseline as a lead and wide. The official that actually has the best look is the center official. So if you have the opportunity to work 3-person, this is a fast break transition. Tell that center official, if you have a great look, take it. This look as a center official is a lot more efficient than that lead official who's trying to bust it down the court. All right, so lead official, get out of bounds, get wide. Center official, transition. If you got this, come in there, have a strong whistle, have your fist above high. If there is a double whistle, make sure we're communicating. Don't have 2 signals. All right, but this would be properly called a charge, legal guarding position, offense initiated contact through the torso. All right, so now we're within 3 feet of the boundary line. We have legal guarding position. We have the defender facing the opponent, 2 feet on the ground. We have the defender moving, and he's within 3 feet of the boundary line. So now the contact is more on the onus of the dribbler. So after this contact, it is clear that the offense is in a favorable position. All right, he is still able to dribble the ball and actually almost has a clear path. Since the offense initiated the contact, this is a charge. All right, but this is a good example. Within 3 feet of the boundary line, even if that head and shoulder got passed, legal guarding position, that defender is doing nothing illegal and must remain on the court. So this is a charge into a legal guarding defender. Now we're talking about secondary defender, NFHS high school. All right, we have this secondary defender, 2 feet on the ground, facing the opponent. He has attained legal guarding position. He moved laterally. He did not move forward. He moved laterally. Offense initiated contact in the torso. This is correctly ruled a charge. Replay this here. Legal guarding position. Who created the contact? The offense into the opponent's torso. He is now gained an advantage. He would have been able to either pass it or shoot it. Yes, that defender is moving, but he attained legal guarding position and he did not move forward to make contact. This will be the last one. This is the duck and absorb. All right, NFHS, we're not worried about the arc. We have number 12, 2 feet on the ground facing the opponent, has obtained legal guarding position. He is now starting to turn, and he's turning to protect his face so he doesn't get a knee in his face. All right. Offense initiates the contact. Arms are straight up in the ear, and he turns to absorb this contact, and it's through the torso. This would be a charge. All right. So as we go back to the PowerPoint here, all right, remember the tips to get these plays correct. Officiate the defense. So as you're working games, when you're watching games on TV, officiate the defense. All right. Be able to see the two opponents and the space between them, so when the contact is made, you know who initiated that contact. Anticipate the block charge call, not the play of what you're going to call. The play of you have to make a decision between the two. Legal guarding position, 2 feet on the floor facing the opponent. Who initiates it? If it's the defense moving forward, block. Offense moving forward, where's the contact? Torso, charge. Within 3 feet of the boundary line, responsibility is on the ball handler. I hope you enjoyed this training tape. Come back to Timeout with PSOA for future training tapes. We're going to hit the 7 common fouls, then we're going to hit technical fouls, then flagrant fouls, and then move into violations. Our goal is to release 1 training tape a week, if not more. So any questions, put it in the comments on our YouTube channel, or reach out to PSOA at premiersportsofficials.com. Officials, remember, you're only as good as your last call.